So today is the day. We finally have got the brand new Xbox handhelds, both the ROG Ally and the new ROG Ally X. In this video, we will take a look at both of the handhelds, compare their performance, and also answer the ultimate question, should you buy one and which one should you buy? Because there's a huge difference in the price. First, I want to take a look at the Xbox ROG Ally. This is the most confusing name in the world. It should really be called the Ally S, like the Xbox Series S, but instead it's just called the ROG Xbox Ally, and then they leave it on a cliffhanger with no more details after that. Whereas of course we've got the Ally X right here, which is like your Xbox Series X. Now personally, I'm more excited about the Xbox ROG Ally, the one in white, which is cheaper. I think it's a much more acceptable price point. It's £499, which is pretty cheap considering like the specification of this handheld. And also the frequency, you're probably going to use it. These are going to be secondary devices. You're not going to use this as your primary console. It's going to be something you use when you're away from home, away from your desk. So having to spend £799 or nearing $1,000 on the X variation, I think for most gamers, this is something that's a little bit more comfortable within the price range. And it still is functional and does the job of exactly what you need. In terms of the layout and form factor, it's massively improved over the original Ally and also Ally X. If we go ahead and compare this to Generation 1, you've got the upgraded Xbox controller grips at the back now, which look absolutely ridiculous, but feel amazing in your hand. That has nice curvy edges on it, but the rest of them are quite abrupt on how they sort of finish off. So they feel okay on the front, but then there's nowhere for your palms to grip around, which gives you a little bit of cramp when you're using them for an extended period of time. Huge issue as well with the Nintendo Switch because that thing's so slim. Like seriously, there's literally nothing to grip onto with the Switch, so it's just horrible to hold. I absolutely hate using it. Now, before we go ahead and install some games and set these up, let's check out the Ally X. I'm expecting literally the exact same console here, just black, and all the exact same accessories. Yeah, that looks absolutely naughty. And then accessories wise, everything else is exactly the same. Even the size of the charger is the same because this does actually have a slightly bigger battery, 80 watt millihour versus 60 watt millihour on the, I'm gonna just call this the Ally S to make it super simple. The first game I tried out was Assassin's Creed Mirage. This is something I play quite frequently on my ROG Ally, and I was getting a very consistent 60 to 70 FPS with very high graphic settings. Everything was maxed out on this thing, rendering it 1080p. Now I could also use FSR2 to do a degree of frame generation, which took it from 60 FPS to about 72, 80 or so frames per second, but more than smooth enough for a single player game like this, and it performed great considering it has quite a large open world aspect as well. Next, I booted up Battlefield 6, which is the game everyone wants to know about right now. Yes, this does work on the Xbox handheld very well too. You do have to set it to low graphic settings, which is fine because the screen is so small, you can't really tell anyways, and even without any form of frame generation, it will hit around 90 frames per second, which is insane. When you enable the FSR, you can comfortably get around 100 to 110. Already depends on the complexity of that current moment in the conquest or the multiplayer mode you're playing, but on the whole you're looking at an average of 100 frames per second, which is incredible. One thing that has definitely improved on the Xbox handheld is the battery life. With my first play session, I played for 2 hours straight on Assassin's Creed Mirage, started on 100%, finished that play session on 45%, which is awesome. On my past experience with my ROG Ally X and other handhelds that I have, I've been lucky to get around 2 hours in total off of a 100% charged batteries. Another new addition to both of these handhelds is obviously the Xbox UI. Now this is not kind of what it's marketed as. It's essentially the Xbox app on Windows 11, but you can control it with a controller. That's essentially what it is. When this was announced, they marketed this more as a Steam OS alternative, a bit like what you get when you purchase a Steam Deck, but in reality, it's more like Steam Big Picture mode. It's like Xbox Big Picture mode. You just essentially control the Xbox Game Pass PC app with the controllers. Comparing the performance between the two models, I was quite shocked. It's a massive difference. The Xbox Ally is more orientated around casual gamers, and it can play some AAA titles like Forza Horizon 5, but when you use third-party games like Battlefield 6, it kind of falls apart a little bit. You're looking at around 45 FPS at best on low graphic settings with FSR enabled, but it is a little bit of a laggy experience. You're not going to be hyper competitive. And it's probably putting a little bit too much strain on that Z2A processor that's clocked down compared to the Z2 Extreme and even the Z1 Extreme that you got in the older ROG Ally X from the prior model. Do you get better performance from the Z1 Extreme? Yes, I think you do from my initial testing. Now, is this designed to play AAA games? Probably not. There's loads of stuff that it can play, more indie stuff, Silksong, platformers. But what confuses me is it can then whack out Forza Horizon 5. It can play that, but then it can't play Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy didn't really improve either. Ultra performance on FSR, low on everything, and we were scraping like 45 FPS, but it was choppy. It would frame drop quite a lot, and sometimes spike randomly up to like 100 FPS, and then spike down to 30 FPS, making it really unpleasurable. And also it looked like I was playing on an absolute potato. Both games are equally as demanding as one another. If anything, you could argue Forza Horizon 5 is even harder to run because it's a massive, massive open world that's online. So for the consumer, it's really difficult to know if you buy this, will it be able to play the game that I want to play? You just don't get that issue with the Xbox ROG Ally X. It has outstanding performance across all types of games and difficulty of games to run. It outperforms the older Z1 Extreme by an absolute mile. It's got better battery life efficiency, it feels way more comfortable to hold, and you also get a much bigger battery life and more internal storage compared to the ROG Xbox Ally. Call of Duty Warzone with medium to low graphic settings with FSR 3 enabled ran at a flawless 120 FPS. This game ran so well, very smooth, no frame drops, allowing me to be competitive in the different lobbies. It also felt incredible playing this essentially with an Xbox controller. It felt exactly the same as playing this as on console with a gamepad, just with a screen attached in the middle of them, a very natural experience that I didn't have to adjust to. Forza Horizon 5 was by far one of the best performing games with no frame generation assistance on medium graphic settings. This game was comfortably hitting over 100 FPS with some lows at around 80 when you're going crazy fast in more complex environments. Now, there is a bonus accessory hidden at the top of the lid here. This is where you're going to get the little stand that comes with it. It's pretty cheap. To be honest, it's like a piece of cardboard. Or you can purchase this additional dock. This comes in, I believe, at £130, but it's got some cool features. No, it's not just a stand for you to put the console on. It's an actual docking station. So it's got 100 watt fast watt charging, 4K 144 hertz output, so you can plug this into a computer monitor. And of course, in true ROG style, it's got a bit of RGB. You can see on the back here, you've got a bunch of additional USB ports, so this is super cool for plugging in a mouse and keyboard. By the way, if you're actually wanting to upgrade your keyboard on your gaming setup, we've got an insane deal right now in the description where you can get up to 40% off on the Aula F75 and a bunch of other incredible mechanical keyboards. This is the best price. It beats Amazon by an absolute mile, and it's limited time. Once the stock's gone, it's gone. I'll leave a link in the description and use code BENROW at checkout for an extra discount. And even an Ethernet port for a more stable connection for your online gaming and downloads, and some Thunderbolt Type-C connections down here too. To be fair, it's pretty well designed and looks pretty clean, but is it a little bit overpriced at about £130? Let me know in the comment section. Overall, these are pretty cool products that Xbox has just released. They take everything awesome about the original ROG Allies and make them easy to use and also more comfortable. It's disappointing about the performance on the cheaper Xbox Ally compared to the flagship Xbox Ally X, but that's to be expected. Hence why there is a huge difference in the price. But if you want to see a more detailed breakdown about the specifications and compatibility, you should check out this video next, because if you like this, you'll like that.